Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming back here. We're talking about movies as usual. Today we're going to be talking about Riders of Justice. Riders of Justice is a film written and directed by Anders Thomas Jensen, who's a Danish filmmaker and a marvelous one at that. I believe this is his fifth feature. His last one was 5 years ago, I think, called Men and Chicken, also with Mads Mikkelsen, who's the star of this film, who absolutely knocks it out of the park. So, you know when you go to a movie and you pay your ticket and you got your popcorn and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm just gonna relax, because obviously these folks that have made this movie that is in this cinema that came from some big studio somewhere, they obviously did their work, and it's going to be amazing because they got everything right. Right? Right. How many times does that happen? More times than not, it's kind of like oh, really? Well, I guess that was a night out. But this time, this movie gets it right. What does that mean? It gets everything right. That's the script, that's the casting, the characters, the writing, the production, the editing, the scoring, the look, the feel, the everything, man. This movie gets everything right. It's not just some pedantic exercise. It means you get a film that moves you. You get a film that brings you back to your humanity. Because let's face it, most revenge dramas, action thrillers, they generally take you away from your humanity because they turn you into a kind of a block of revenge heading down these tracks to get what you need to get. There enters the wily feeling of a guilty pleasure. So I would say, as my friend calls it, a lizard brain. Peter Paris, you should follow him as well. He's a great reviewer on YouTube. He calls it the lizard brain, and I totally agree with him. The lizard brain is what is activated by these revenge dramas, right? So what's so unique about Riders of Justice is that it also gets your lizard brain a little bit, but it gives you a whole other dimension. It gives you a fully realized drama and comedy action thriller with characters that have depth, that aren't blocks of single-minded revenge-seeking entities that are on a kill switch, right? Being on. Here we have a realistic drama that centers around a family dynamic, and the central relationship is that of a father and daughter. So the story starts and we enter this world, and right from the get-go, we have a tragedy that starts us off. There's an explosion on a subway, and the matriarch of the family is unfortunately wiped out by this accident. And therein begins the drama, where the husband, the father, is called back from military service, where he is alpha male in paradise, smoking his joints and going on these tours of duty, and he's in paradise. He doesn't want to come home. Now he has to come home, and he has to face the relationship that he's neglected for pretty much all his life. And his daughter is now all alone, and she needs him more than ever. And the advice that he gives her is very interesting, and again, it's perfect for his character. It's the sort of dialogue and the sort of characterization you just don't see in mainstream movies. I mean, this movie is unique in its character portrayals, in its relationships. Ultimately, one of its themes is misfits coming together to form a family, which is something that is Jensen's go-to kind of theme in most of his movies. And it's certainly here in this one, where we have a band of disparate characters. You have computer geeks, IT guys, you've got this stoic military PTSD soldier, a daughter in sophomore in high school, character who's been trafficked sexually, and then you've got all these miscreant, horrible gang members. So you've got quite a gamut of characters here. It's a wonderful world that Jensen has created, and he does it so marvelously. The script is so well planned out. The structure is incredible. It's like a whole bunch of those Marushka dolls all put in together, and you're just opening one after another, and then when you get to the end, they're all put back together. It's just I can't say enough about how well this film is constructed, how beautifully it's shot, how well it's edited, how incredibly well it's acted by all the actors, particularly Mads Mikkelsen, who is knocking it out of the park on this one. Not only does he give you the stoic PTSD soldier, but he gives you the vulnerability of that soldier when eventually he has to confront his actions in order to save himself and his family and to hang on to the last precious thing left in his life, which this movie brings him to the precipice of realizing, which most revenge action films don't do that. Perhaps one of the best known is Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood's masterpiece, where he confronted what cost vengeance comes at. Again, this film is in marvelous territory and in great company. It is a fantastic film. It's easily one of the best of the year. You should seek it out. It's available on video on demand to rent wherever you rent your movies. It is a terrific rental, and it's the kind of film that'll stay with you, and it brings you back to your humanity by the end, which is something that most guilty pleasures don't do, because at the end you feel guilty for having engaged with them. This one shows you an entire world, and it leaves you feeling moved, that you've opened up a little space in your heart. So go check it out. Riders of Justice. It's a heck of a lot more movie than you think it is. I can't say enough about it. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe, and do tag a friend if this is something you think they would love to watch as much as you did. All right, take care now.
Skal du en kugle imellem øjnene, eller hvad? Skud med. Til en 60 mod krigsmand. Skud, der siger til dig!